In this video, we're going to prune a Japanese maple before the spring foliage comes out of the tree. Now, this tree you see here was the first tree I used in our very first video, how to prune a Japanese maple tree. Now, when you saw that video, or if you've seen it, the foliage was already on the tree. Now, back then it was 10 years old. Fast forward 2 years later, 12 years old, in the same container, and it's a dwarf upright variety. Today I'm just going to prune it again now, without the leaves on. Now I've mentioned in the past, you do get a really nice visual, and you're able to sculpt the tree the way you like to see it without any foliage. And now don't forget, your bud sets, once they push out, they'll push out 8 to 10 inches, which would be, 15 to 20 centimeters, sometimes not as much. So keep that in consideration. We're in Chilliwack, which is zone 8B, so of course no fear of frost anymore. In fact, we've got a very, very warm temperature coming in the next few days. And wherever you're located, as long as you have no danger of severe frost, this is really the ultimate time to prune the maple. Again, you can prune it any time of the year. This is just a nice time when you can physically look at the tree, look at the stems, the foliage, the inside growth, and it makes pruning, really a lot quicker and a lot nicer in the sense that you can really sculpt it to your liking. So let's set up the camera and away we go. A lot of the inside foliage that's coming right off the main stems, well, quick and easy. With your index finger and thumb, you can pinch that tender foliage right off the tree without using your trimmers. Of course, now when it comes to your pruning device, make sure they're clean, make sure they're sharp, and make sure they're of good quality, because that really is the most important tool. You may as well get something good, buy it once, keep it forever, and look after it. Now, I'm just pinching off a lot of the inside growth, in other words, stems that are growing to the inside of the tree, which are redundant, as once the foliage is out, you won't see that foliage anyway. It also allows the tree to breathe and let air flow through. Now, when we start cutting, again, visually, we want to maintain the same shape as it has been. Now, if I start at the top here, I'm going to go right down to the union of the next set of branches. I'll take that right out. Here we've got 2 branches in parallel. One's redundant. Let's remove one. Again, this little guy moving up, they're going to push right into that. So let's just take that out. Now, the approach I do, generally I work from the top down. Again, some people work from the bottom up. Some people just make random cuts and hope everything turns out. But going from the top down, I find it really opens up the visual that I like to achieve. And I can always come back up later if I want to make an additional cut to try and balance things out if I need to. Now, again, what I'm doing here, I'm just cutting out a lot of the parallel growth that you don't need. The tree's going to push out. Here we've got some young little shoots. Hopefully you see that. I'm just pinching them off. Take this little guy off here. On this side here, take out the middle one. I'm going to take this one out. A couple smaller stems. this branch pushing into this one. Let's take him out. We're going to bring this one back to the union. Here we go. This one on the side, let's take it out. Bring this guy back. Two coming out here. We've got lots of foliage that will push out when these leaves open up. Again, don't be fooled if you think the tree is looking too open, because once this foliage comes out, it really fills out quite nicely. And that goes for basically all the varieties. Now, just going to move into the very front here. There's a little bit of winter dieback. Pinch that off. Nothing to be worried about at all. That's very common with Japanese maples. Now let's take this off at the union. Remove that one. This one pushing out. I'll take it back to the union. Again, a parallel set. Let's bring this one back, and let's take this one right out. Whoops, missed that. Let's try that again. There we go. A little bit of inside growth there. With no leaves on the tree, it really minimizes the second guessing of what to take out and what to leave. Now again, if you are in a situation where you're unable to prune the tree early in the year, as I've mentioned in the past, any time is fine as far as pruning goes. This is just a nicer visual approach. I'm taking that top one off. Now I'm just going to reset the camera as I go. Okay, so just this last little bit on this side. Just going to selectively make a few cuts just to thin it out. And again, pruning this time of the year is generally much quicker than when the foliage is out, because once all of these bud sets open up, they all push out, so you've got plenty of foliage. There's much more cutting to do. At this time of year, you just visually cut it right back to the main stems, and you're eliminating a lot of extra cutting that you'd have to do when the leaves are out. Okay, I think that's got it. Now, this tree has been in this pot for many years. What I do at the beginning of the season, I'll take my trusty old standard screwdriver and I'll just poke holes into the roots just so it allows good drainage, good aeration. The nutrients can flow right down. There we go. It's feeling good. You can tell that it's still going to be good for another year or two in this pot before I have to do an actual root pruning or put it into a bigger pot. Now again, fertilizing. We'll fertilize them in a couple of weeks. We use a 16-10-10 Osmocote, 6 months slow release, one application once a year, and a pot like this, just over a tablespoon is plenty. Once I apply the fertilizer, I'll sprinkle some more mulch over the fertilizer just so that the birds don't see it, and then we're done, other than regular watering and sitting down and admiring your tree. Okay, let's go on to the Pixie. Here we have a Pixie, Japanese maple. Now you've seen a video possibly that I did a couple of years ago when I pruned this exact tree when the leaves were fully out. Now, because it's early in the year now, it's March 10th today, the buds are just starting to swell, and with these smaller, compact, upright trees, I've mentioned many times it's actually easier to prune them before the leaves come out, as you get a much nicer visual. You can see the way the stems are moving and growing, and it's much easier to cut out the inside branches and selectively cut towards the outside. Now I'm going to trim this tree, and what I'll do, the small inner branches, I just take them off with my finger. Very easy to come off the tree. And so anything you see that's growing inward, just remove it. It's redundant. The tree will be completely covered with foliage, and you want that airflow, and again it will add to the outward beauty of the tree once the leaves are out. Having a nice blanket of foliage while still be able to see the inside structure of the main stalk and branches. So if we look right here on this branch, you can see, okay, we've got two parallel. Well, we need only one. Let's take one out. And again, there's on this single branch, there's two remaining. Let's take one out. This limb here, there's a double. Anytime I see double limbs, I'll always cut one pair back, because again, they become redundant. Now, we'll bring the tree back slowly, because don't forget, once these buds open up, they're going to push out 6 to 8 inches. It's at least 10 to 15 centimeters. So making cuts that will accommodate the future length of the tree are important as well. Now you can see I'm just cutting back. I've started on this single limb, and I'll just cut this back to the union. Now I'm going to move to this guy. Lots of growth on the top here. Let's take this one back. We'll take this inside one out. We're going to keep that basic shape of the tree, but basically slowly thin it out. And you know, remember, you can stare a long time at a tree before you actually make a cut. You know, once you make the cut, of course, branches will always grow back. Don't hesitate. Give it a visual, make your cut, and move on. It becomes a lot easier the more often you prune a tree. Now, you can see this top piece still. Take that little guy out, and then these two out front, I'm going to keep them, but I'm just going to bring them back to the next set of buds. I'll take this guy out. Again, it's a parallel branch. Now, I'll move back to this side. Take this out. Remove these. Again, some more inside growth in the back here. I'm always cutting out the inside growth of the tree. Work my way up front here. I don't know if the camera will get this shot or not. Take this guy out. Two stems moving inward. Hopefully you see that. I'm just going to cut them out. Okay, I'll take this here now. Got this one pushing straight up. Actually, I'll take the whole thing out. Again, all these parallel shoots moving into one another. You only need one. They'll be completely covered with foliage once these limbs open up. And this one slightly coming in. I like that look. I'm just going to bring it back to the union. There's some more inside growth on the main stalk. We don't need that. Just going to bring this one back a touch. Again, I'm cutting right back to the main stems. Always cut up to a union when you can make the cut. Keeps a nice, neat, clean appearance. These trees are extremely resilient. Again, a parallel set. Let's take that out. These two little guys out front. And remember, always give it a visual. Step back, have a look. Let's take a bit off here now. It's pushing out quite a bit. Bring this back. Take that out. A few more little guys on the main stalk here. Okay, I'm just going to reset the camera. Okay, hopefully you're getting a good view from the top down. Now you can see the inside of the tree completely opened up. Just going to finish up this tree now. Some of this lower growth on the back side. Over to this side. Just some minimal cuts now. I'll just take a look from a distance. A couple that are just protruding further on one side than the other. So that's the idea. When you step back, look at the tree and just put it into perspective. Now, this top one, let's just take it back down to the union. There we go. I'll take this little fell off the peak, get that inside growth out. Nip this little guy. Oops. And there we go. We've got the Pixie done. Get your pruners out, and again, if you're in an area that is frost-free. Again, we're in Zone 8B, Chilliwack, British Columbia. There's no frost, and we're expecting quite the warming trend in the next few days. So we're getting all of our Japanese maples pruned right now. And once again, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy these videos. And if you'd like to see more, there's plenty more for you, covering many, many aspects of Japanese maple care, specific to the container growing medium. Bye for now.